All right, everybody, welcome to episode 17 of Digitized Desperadoes. We are doing The Witch, spelled with two V's instead of a W.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's like a stylistic choice.
It is. It's yeah. Officially, it's just
still-
called The Witch on Netflix's page, but it's funny because the title for all the movie posters, it's spelled with two V's.
Well, yeah, it was
It's
intentional.
like it's
I
actually
don't
based
get.
on
I
like
don't get what the intent was.
it was like
Um,
it's stylized as that in like some old text that the director
Yeah,
found.
the
Like what
whole
that-
intent of this movie is to actually kind of show what witchcraft would have been seen as in New England back
Okay.
then. And so they actually went to like historical centers in the area, and they did a ton of research on like historical documents, and apparently in a couple of historical like newspapers and stuff, they would always spell
Witch
witch
with like two
two
V's.
V's.
Is that like to
And also
stop?
like in the credits it just straight up says most of the dialogue came from the text we studied.
Yeah, which is really interesting. They actually
Yeah.
found like transcripts and books and stuff, and they
Probably
took
like
that.
diaries and whatever.
Yeah, like
Diaries.
it said like journals and stuff.
Yeah. So I guess the basic plot of this is a family has been kicked out of their village for some reason. I'm not clear on that yet.
I believe
Not
the
sure.
reason was that they wouldn't baptize their baby.
Oh, is that what it was?
They never say it, but I think that was actually a contentious kind of thing back then, whether you would baptize your baby at birth. But yeah, the baby is unbaptized, and they're exiled.
Okay. Yeah, so they're exiled and freaky shit starts happening. The baby disappears.
Basically, the children get really screwed up by this witch that's in
Yeah.
the forest, supposedly
Yeah.
in the forest.
There's a witch around apparently, and they get screwed with the witch screws with them. The other boy, the son Caleb, gets taken, and he comes back, and then he dies, and then they blame it on her, or they blame it on the daughter, and the daughter blames it on the other two kids who have been like talking to the sheep, and then
Yeah,
The evil
she kind
goat.
of blames it. She kind of blames it on the goat.
yeah,
What's the goat's name?
Black
Black
Peter.
Black Phillip.
Oh, Black
Which is
Phillip.
a
Oh god, Black
great
Peter is
name.
worse. Yeah, Black Phillip. But yeah, so that's just general plot. I guess we'll start from the beginning, or wherever you guys want to start. I don't care.
This is
Where
a
to begin?
I don't
this is a
know.
very very hard thing, a hard movie to talk about.
Yes.
This is I don't know where to start.
It's
So basically, most of the movie follows the struggle of Thomason, who is their oldest daughter.
Yeah, it's Thomason, and then also a bit of the father, I think.
Yeah, I think it focuses a lot on the father too, who is
yeah,
William.
William.
That man has an amazing voice.
Oh yeah!
Yes.
Oh my god!
His voice is
Perfect.
great.
All
It's-
the casting is really
Yeah,
good.
even the child actors in this, like, they don't suck for once.
They
which
do
is
great.
I gotta say, the use of I've seen a lot of movies with child actors in them. This is probably one of the best.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They're so good.
Like there's nothing where it's like, oh dang it, it's a child actor. You're just like, oh yeah, no, that's a kid.
Cause like, I'm gonna compare this to another movie that came out more recently. A movie called The Florida Project. The Florida Project is about basically unsupervised kids living in Florida in like impoverished areas, and you really get the sense that they're real children because they're really annoying and they're
yeah.
really loud and like spontaneous. But in
Mhm.
this movie, they're good because they're like acting. They're bringing it.
Yeah.
Apparently, the actor
It's-
for Caleb was about 14 when this came out.
He's so good.
Yeah,
He does great.
15 or 4. He's 17 now, and the movie came out. Oh, he's born 2001, so yeah,
I
this
don't
came
know
out in
if you want
2015.
to. I don't know if
14.
you want to go unchronologically, but his scene where he's, I guess, possessed.
Yeah.
That's
is-
very
Oh
good.
god, that scene. I rarely just go like to movies or like get actually grossed out and have to like look away for a second. That one, oh my god, when he fucking barfs up the apple,
No, and even before that, where they like take the knife to his head and start just draining
Oh, you do
blood
the
into a
bloodletting.
bowl.
That scene is probably one of the most intense scenes
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
ever seen in a movie.
This whole movie is just like unsettling from
Oh, there's
front to
literally
end.
like a bunch of my notes are just and then something that was just unsettling. Like I didn't even I didn't even want to write it down.
I have a nice little trilogy here from early in the movie. Why do I get the feeling something bad will happen involving the baby? Oh god, the baby's gone.
I
Oh
have
god, don't cut off the baby's dick.
Oh no, yeah! That's one of the first scenes!
I literally just have
Within 10 minutes, that happens!
And they show you the back of the witch, and she's disgusting.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
my first notes on the baby's disappearance was just peekaboo. Oh no, where'd he go? And then right underneath right underneath it is just wait, no, no. It's like awful.
So the note I had for that scene is Achtung baby.
What does that mean?
Because in flippin' JoJo, the baby that could disappear.
Oh my god.
That's the stand name.
Anyway, the witch is terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like this gross old woman, and whoever they cast for that. Perfect casting, but Jesus Christ.
First of all, I'm sorry. Second of all,
Yeah.
good casting.
Yeah. There's a scene later on where they locked all the kids in the the remaining kids, that is, in the shed, and it's the middle of the night, and the witch is like in the room like sucking on the goat, and
okay,
just
but you
look
over. You missed the scene before that, which I think is more disturbing, where Thomason tries to milk the goat.
Yes, this
Oh god, yeah, no, I literally just have oh no, bloodletting, oh no, goat blood, and then oh no, Caleb throwing up the
what's
apple.
The note I have for that? I have it somewhere here of damn it. Just damn it, I'm trying to find it. Dang it, where is my notes? Stupid.
This is on the
Keep going. Keep going.
Well, there's a scene where she's like milking the goat, and the fucking goat just instead of milk, it's blood. This movie really gross.
Oh yeah, my note is just milking blood out of the goat. That's freaky. And it is. That was like
good note.
Yeah, that scene is one of the like worst ones for me. That's just.
We should probably talk about like the first general half of the movie, which is a lot about. I guess the family trying to appease the mom.
Yeah, there's something about the father sold this like cup or something made out of silver.
Basically,
silver cup that like was her father's, so there's like personal attachment.
What's going on is that they're obviously isolated from the town. They can't trade or anything. Well, they do, but and they are running out of food. The food they have, the wheat they grew, is not enough to last the winter.
Yeah, and it's also like really shitty.
Rotting. There's a lot dying.
Yeah.
And so the father is doing literally everything he can to get any other type of food source. He tries buying like traps and guns to try to kill fun animals, but it never works. And he does sell an heirloom of the family in order to do that.
And the mother blames it on the daughter.
And the dad blames it on God.
Yeah.
There's a lot of religion in this movie.
Yeah, I believe this family's Puritan. It's the one with the denomination where they believe that people don't go to heaven or hell based on what they do. It's like more like they're predetermined, and what they do is a sign of whether or not they'll go to heaven or hell. Something like that.
Yeah, it's like throughout the movie, it's like kind of instilled that like their idea is that humans are just sinners by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to like over time cleanse yourself of that.
Yeah, you have to like constantly confess. There are multiple confession scenes. But the father has many like rants about religion, and honestly, he seems right a lot of the times, which I know is weird to say, but he has a good head on his shoulders, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that everything he's doing is out of like he wants the best for the family. None of like he wouldn't want to kill his child, but like if God willed it, he would, because otherwise his entire family would be killed, or at least he believes that, stuff like that.
And even then, he never makes that next step. He just tries to hunt animals and then is killed.
Yeah, he's like about to, and then he's about to go after Thomason, the daughter, and then like she's like, no, it wasn't me. I'm not a witch. It was the kids. And he's like, oh fuck, I don't even know who to believe anymore. So he just locks them all in the shed overnight.
Yeah.
And then he gets gored by Black Phillip.
Okay, so
and his body is left in a pile of all the wood he cut.
Okay, so let's go a bit chronologically here.
Yeah.
So, about like I guess a quarter of the way through, stuff starts actually happening. Thomason tries to scare one of the twins by claiming she's the witch.
Oh yeah, I was just like,
yeah, that's right.
She's like going really hard at this. Like, man, people really didn't have anything else or anything better to do back at the whatever hundreds.
Well, the twins are the most annoying characters.
They're shit characters.
They're constantly
because they're presumably already got the devil.
Well, they're just like singing all the time.
Yeah, about their black goat. That's really obviously satanic.
Yeah, I have the note of just, you gotta have those creepy twins. It's not a horror movie if you don't have creepy twins.
Except it's done well.
But anyway, then what happens is that the son, the older son, Caleb, he decides to personally go out into the woods to secure food for the family, and Thomason forces him to let her join him.
Yeah.
I don't really remember why.
It's because
they're not supposed to go out into the woods.
What did?
And she like threatened him like, "Oh, I'll tell mom and dad right now."
But why did Thomason want to go?
Just to, like keep both of them. Didn't want him going alone, I guess.
Oh yeah, because they both heard overnight that they wanted to have Thomason go out into town because she was old enough to have children.
They wanted to kick Thomason out.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go out into the woods and they lose each other, and Caleb is quite literally seduced by the witch, who looks a lot younger.
She looks a lot younger, and then they kiss very strangely, and then it's revealed that it was probably an illusion because her hand's all old and decrepit.
Yeah, and I have the note, oh no, illusionary hot lady.
Also because Caleb, if you noticed, was giving some very strange looks to his sister.
Yeah, he was looking at his sister's chest a lot. I think they mention it later. The mother mentions that he was looking at her, and that's...
No, she said... No, the mother says that Thomason was looking at Caleb.
I thought it was... the mother says that Thomason was seducing Caleb or something like that. Making him look at her.
Implies that.
I mean, we'll get into the things, but basically, Caleb is easily seduced.
Yes.
By who, we don't know, but
the witch. He
eventually returns. He appears naked.
Completely naked, and
Thomason.
He's like, yeah.
And they take him into the house, and he starts acting very clearly possessed. So they all... Okay. The twins accuse Thomason of being a witch. And then Thomason, confesses or repents to the dad. And the dad's like, okay, we believe you. Now let's chant the Lord's Prayer to Caleb. And they do that. But the twins refuse. They say they forgot.
Yeah, and they start rolling on the ground after that, after they continue.
And repeating what Caleb is saying.
Yeah. And then they all go crazy, starting saying stuff, or the twins and Caleb all go crazy, and so they start praying harder, and then suddenly Caleb's like starts talking all about salvation or something and
Caleb
dies.
starts talking about like Jesus and enlightenment.
Yeah,
And like wanting to join him, and he like rises up from off the floor, and then he
Which
goes
is
back down, and then
the
dies.
performance on
Yeah.
that kid.
So
Oh my
good.
god, it's incredible.
it's yeah. Shoutouts to Harvey Scrimshaw. Good name.
His name.
Nice.
That's a good name.
Good for him.
Yeah,
That almost sounds like a fake name for this movie.
I think that's all his. That's I think all he's been in. Oh wait, he's been in
Wow.
The Devil Outside and Oranges and Sunshine.
Mm,
I don't.
I don't know.
Or,
I hope he gets more work. He's very good.
Yeah. I mean, he was. Devil Outside was 2018, so.
Okay, so he's getting work.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
But yeah, like he's expressing like, oh, how much he loves Jesus, and then he just dies, and it's just like, oof.
And then, well, he pukes up the apple.
Yes, and
he
that's
pukes up the apple, and that honestly was the grossest scene for me, because I
That's
did not
right,
know
I
what the
forgot.
hell was happening, and I had to look away.
His excuse for going into the woods was that he was looking for an apple tree.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Because they didn't want him to get hurt, so
Yeah.
he's just like, oh no, I wasn't hunting.
And then everything just goes insane.
Yep.
Yeah, so
The-
the father takes Thomason outside, like in the middle of the woods, and he's like,
I know
"You
she
are
runs
the witch."
away into the woods after the mother like says, "Hey, get out of here,"
Yeah.
and then he follows her like,
Or not
"Please
into the
no."
woods, like into a field rather, and he's like, "You are the witch," and she's like, "I'm not the witch." And he's like, "You're the witch." She's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm not the witch. It was it's the twins. They've been talking to that goat all the time." And then he hesitates for a bit and decides to lock them all up. And overnight, the witch visits them. She's like seen sucking on the goat, the not Black Phillip, but the other goat that they have.
The bloody goat.
Yeah. She's seen there and freaks out the other two children by like making a witch laugh,
Presumably killing
and
them.
then kills them. And then it shows the mother
Oh no.
who sees
Ugh.
Caleb and Samuel, which was the name of the baby that dies way earlier, and he sees them. I don't even want to say.
She picks up Samuel. She's like so happy. She's
Yeah.
like overjoyed.
But it's
and she
obviously
picks
an
up-
illusion. 'Cause
She
duh.
picks up Samuel and starts breastfeeding.
And
And
then
then
it
like no,
cuts
in
to
this
reality.
really good. No, wait, no. Let me say. Like it's really well done. Like at first, it's the witch like laughing at the twins and everyone freaking out, and then it hard cuts to Catherine, the mother, and it is revealed she is laughing maniacally as she is breastfeeding a crow or a raven. I'm not sure which kind of bird, but
And
yeah,
it's just pecking at her.
it's just pecking at her.
And then
It's horrible.
they wake up the next day and she's bleeding in the
I think
bed.
that was probably the most disturbing scene for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
It's so like simple.
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's just really sinister and awful. And it's just
And
like,
It's
no.
just like this animalistic like this like
Yeah.
anger and violence. Oh, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's this whole movie.
The next morning, the father wakes up. I don't think he notices that the wife was bleeding, but
He doesn't
yeah.
notice.
He goes outside and sees the two kids are dead. The like shed that they were in is broken open. The girl's on the ground. The goat is still alive, and fucking rams him.
And then he goes to grab his axe, but then you see like the blood
He's
start
too-
coming out of his
yeah.
mouth, which is the like guaranteed that guy's dead.
Yeah.
And then he drops it, says, I believe the line is like, corruption, thou art my father, or something that's doing that. And then he gets gored again and falls into the wood pile, and the wood that he's been cutting throughout the movie just buries him.
Yeah. And
And then the mom wakes up and
the daughter does
confronts
too.
Thomason. Yeah, they confront each other and they have a fight.
And
Thompson just straight
God,
up
that scene
kills
is also
her mother with a knife.
the
Oof.
mother is
Stabs her to death.
choking her very like they show like her like fucking actually squeezing her fucking throat. But as she's trying to choke her, she's swatting her arms away. Like the daughter's swatting the mother's arms away, and she's like, "No, I love you, I love you." But it's too late. So she's choking her, and she finds a knife on the ground and kills her.
The scene with her using the weapon, which is actually called a billhook, fun fact, is she does an initial like slice with it just
Yeah,
to
she
get
cuts her
her
mom in the
away from
head.
her.
Around the one eye.
Yeah.
And the mom like freaks out, like looks at the blood and like has a moment, and then I think she goes back to attacking her.
Oh, and
then
she's fucking
Thomason
bleeding
just
all
keeps
over her
on-
face.
And then Thomason continues.
And she
Yeah.
just keeps going until she's dead. And then she just lays there with her dead mother on top of her for like a bit.
I mean, that part felt almost warranted because like the mom would have killed her,
Yeah.
but still.
But she still did that. That's like the one instance of like, no, Thomason, you did that.
Yeah, just straight up human murder.
Afterwards, I thought the movie was just going to end. She goes in
It does.
to the house. Well, I thought it was just going to hard end.
Yeah,
it just
me
goes
too.
into the house, and she lies down on the table, or she sits down at the table, puts her head on it, and starts crying. But it's not over yet. Not quite over yet. She goes into the shed where they kept Black Phillip, the goat, and is like, "Can you hear me? Can I talk to you? Or do you talk?" And it fucking responds, and it's fucking like Satan.
What's the line?
I forgot what the line
I would
was.
like to live deliciously.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good line.
And it tempts her, and then she just says yes, and then it hard cuts to her walking into the forest naked with the goat to a group of
Coven.
other witches around a fire dancing, chant. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're doing some sort of ritual,
And they start floating.
and they float into the air.
And the last scene is Thomason floating.
Yeah,
Like
And-
laughing and floating up into the sky.
And that's
then
it.
hard cut.
then credits, and then the credits are like, "This is all based on true event." No, it's the dialogue and everything was taken straight from real documents.
And the funny thing is that the last 10 minutes, the last things we just described is literally the last 10 minutes of
Yes.
the movie.
Yes, it is. A lot happens very fast.
Let me just say, the first, the half an hour, 45 minutes of this movie, I was like, okay, this is alright. I didn't think it was that scary. They kind of... the first scene is just, some shots of the woods, and they play this really ridiculous music over it.
Yeah, this
And
like
it feels like overkill.
avant-garde screaming like Left 4 Dead 2 witch music.
Which was intentional.
Yeah,
They literally. I'm gonna read some stuff from Wikipedia. No, there were no electronic instruments. It was all analog. And,
All the lighting was natural.
yeah,
Like it was just
That's
candles or the light of the sun or moon.
they really wanted to film in New England because that's where it takes place, but they
Yeah.
couldn't find any place that was far enough from
civilization
society.
with like train
So-
noises and car noises and stuff.
So, oh yeah, also money.
Oh yeah,
But they ended up filming in Canada, so most of it's in Canada.
even scarier.
Sure.
Canada's not that scary. I don't know where that joke was going. But
Um,
yeah,
So really, also the budget is tiny. It's $4 million.
And then they made 40.4 million.
Well, the interesting thing about the development of the movie is that it was, I guess, published, distributed by the group A24, which recently has been doing really well. But
Yeah, I know.
this-
Like that's a name I've been hearing a lot recently.
recently, but this was one of their first big movies.
Yeah, and
They
also
did-
looking at the dates and stuff, this was first released in 2015, but at Sundance Film Festival, and then it wasn't theatrically released until over a year later in February of 2016.
yeah, that's
For
fairly
some
normal.
reason, this was just not really released in theaters for like a year.
But yeah, this was one of the first movies that made A24 pretty big. They would go on to do more recent movies. They did Disaster Artist. They did Lady Bird. They did Florida Project, which I mentioned. They did Killer
Swiss
December
Army
Year.
Man.
So sorry, man. Yeah, that's a good one. They did more recently Hereditary and Eighth Grade. Eighth Grade being the Bo Burnham movie.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen any of those, but I've definitely heard of some of those.
Yeah, they did a lot of movies that were nominated for Academy Awards this last year. I don't think any of them won them.
Well, still, I mean, a
No,
nomination's
no,
good.
they did Moonlight, which won Best Picture.
Right.
Oh shit, they did Moonlight.
They
Oh,
did
no,
Moonlight.
they've already-
That was
Forgot.
before.
Wow.
They've already got a Best Picture under their belts.
But these things are all after The Witch.
Yeah.
Which The
And
Witch
they only first started existing in 2012, so they've only been around 6 years.
for what I can see, The Witch is one of their better grossing movies.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best one before Lady Bird.
Wow.
So for 3 or 4 years, it was their highest grossing movie. So yeah, one of their most popular movies.
It deserves it. This movie is good.
I wouldn't say okay. This movie is hard to get into.
Yeah.
I can totally understand turning it off halfway through, but
Yeah, it's like it's good in the sense of like it does its job very well.
it's so worth sitting through. The
Yeah.
ending is so good.
Yeah.
And honestly, the possession scene with Caleb.
That
it's
also is
incredible.
very much worth watching through.
Definitely. I guess, do we want to get into ratings?
You guys have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Didn't you
to
say you wanted to get into themes or something?
Yeah, we so a lot of the discussion surrounding the movie is who is actually the witch in this movie? Like, is it the twins? Is it Caleb? Is it Thomason?
Is it
be
the creature?
I doubt it. Is it just a creature? Yeah, that's an idea.
I always assume it was a just like the nearby witches, like coaxing other people in, or like doing some sort of magic to make people go crazy or something like that. Possessing
Also, you
people.
can then get into it's about paranoia of like say the witch trials and such.
It could very well be there are no witches, and everything that was going on is what they thought was going on.
I think the main thing that kind of convinces me that that Thomason is probably the witch is how she's associated with
Every single event.
she's associated specifically with like Caleb's sexuality, and that's how he gets captured, and then she coincidentally finds him. He literally
Also,
just
she
there was
appears.
that, and there was-
she's the only one around when Samuel is taken, so it's like it's all
Right.
her.
There's
She's
that,
involved
and there
in
was
every
one
instance.
other thing I don't remember, but like, it cuts to the witch doing something, and then like, she was there after that or something like that. I don't exactly know.
You might be thinking of when Samuel gets taken by the witch. I mean Caleb gets taken by the witch, and then it cuts to her waking up
Maybe?
from getting knocked off the horse.
I think that might be what I'm thinking of, something like that.
And also, there's how at the end we don't see what happens to the twins, but when Thomason is waking up, she has blood on her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
We actually
she's-
don't see them. We don't see the corpses of the twins. We see like goat corpses.
Right.
We don't see
Yeah.
the twins.
Well, there's also that, and also, she's the only one that isn't killed by the witch that apparently killed everybody else. So,
Yeah.
if there was another witch, she was like, "Oh, that one's a witch too. I'm not going to kill her," or that witch was her.
Either that or the witch or Black Phillip was choosing her to be the candidate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's safe while the other ones needed to die.
Yeah.
sacrifices and all that.
But apart from that, I feel like there's a lot of parts of it that are very showing of the time period. All the conversations, like they have one dinner conversation where it's clear that the children have absolutely no power and that religion trumps all.
Yeah.
The father is very, very rough. I still think he's probably the nicest person in this movie.
It's really
He's
strange.
definitely like most well-intentioned.
Yeah.
But he is the one who is probably the loudest.
Everybody is like arguing at the dinner table over the chalice or the cup that was sold off, and the mother was like, "You did it," and the daughter was like, "No, I didn't." And it goes back and forth for a bit, and he's like, "Enough, she didn't do it." He did it, but like he didn't say that. He's like, it's just gone.
Catherine, the mom, is very, very suspicious of Thomason.
The whole time.
Constantly wanting to like call.
I mean, she has good reason to. She was the only one around, and she let the baby get taken.
Well, she was also right.
So she's perfectly within reason to be mad.
Yeah. I
wouldn't say if her trying to kill her was right, but you know.
Well, I mean, she'd already gone insane by that point.
Yeah.
But she was also still decently justified. Like, everyone's kind of got some nice, sort of goodish justification for what they do. More or less. I mean, the twins are just...
The twins are just
awful all the time, but then again, the goat is Satan. The goat is confirmed Satan at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Either that or it's just like hallucinations, but I don't know. I don't buy that.
You can get into that with a lot of horror movies where did it really happen? Or was it just all fake?
I think we went into this last time with the werewolf.
Yeah. You can do like that's constantly the thing is did everything actually happen? It's up to you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because a lot of the things that happened in this movie could very reasonably happen.
Yeah, a lot like
a baby getting stolen or lost could happen. Maybe not the most reasonable.
Their explanation of the wolf could have been correct.
Right. And then there's also
we never see it.
There's also how the goat starts like milking blood. I feel like that's totally like a kind of disease that could happen.
Isn't there like also a fucking rabbit somewhere?
Yes, the rabbit was also like constantly present for when bad things happen.
Yeah, every time something bad would happen in this movie, there's this creepy ass rabbit that would show up.
Like Caleb and his father William are in the woods hunting, and they're trying to shoot the rabbit, but then the fuse goes off wrong on the gun.
Yeah, and the sparks hit him in the eye.
And then later, the rabbit is present for when Caleb gets taken. Oh no, the rabbit is there, and they're trying to hunt it, and the horse freaks out, and that's how everything just starts going wrong, and then they get separated. So like basically the first two like deaths are due to rabbit, which is probably also like related to the witches and Philip.
Black magic. Yeah. That's all I have to say on this.
What are your guys' like? What was your experience watching this? Did you guys enjoy it?
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely slow at times, but I still liked it overall. It really did, like the parts that were supposed to freak you out kind of really did. I'm really glad they didn't have any fucking cheap ass jump scares or anything like that. Yeah. I thought it was overall well done.
I was sufficiently spooked, especially when like just a lot of the moments we've talked about, and also just like the moment when Black Phillip just suddenly rams William.
Oh yeah,
that, got me because it's just like, oh shit. But yeah, this movie did its damn job very well. I was sufficiently spooked.
I'm glad about that, but I think I have mixed feelings on it because I think I was pretty bored during a lot of parts of it.
I will say that too. Like there was also some moments where I'm like, this is going a little slower than I'd like.
Yeah,
But
like I guess my thoughts are like it's slow, but that's kind of the point because building tension and such, and
yeah,
like you don't know when the next bad thing is gonna happen,
but then there's some
Yeah.
times
and you
where
feel that.
I felt that, but then at the same time, it went on a little too long. Where I was like,
Yeah.
all right, something bad hasn't happened for too long.
Especially at the beginning, where
Yeah.
I think there's this really extended scene where William is talking to Caleb about like religion.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also I think one of the scenes about the mother talking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
every scene with the mom is a little too long.
yeah,
But overall, I think I do not regret picking or watching this. I enjoyed my time. I love the last few scenes. I
Mhm.
like how authentic they tried to go with it,
Even like the
especially with some of
dialogue, it's just all entirely
I
period
think
appropriate with
yeah,
just all sorts of F's and thous and such.
all the words they were saying felt correct. I think there was only like one moment throughout the whole film where I think they delivered it a little like, just reading the weird words.
Yeah, but
But there was only
the
like one of
acting,
those.
yeah, the acting is so consistent.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're totally like in the mood.
Even the stupid ass children, like the two twins, kind of deliver their lines pretty well. And when they're doing their stupid, creepy songs, they're like weird nursery rhymes. I think it's all pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done. That's
All right,
it.
I guess ratings then. I would say I enjoyed this very much. A lot of scenes, did go on a little long, but everything this movie tried to do, it did well, I think. So, and it wasn't even that like long. So, like, even though some of the scenes I think went on a little long, it's still a total of an hour and 30. It's not. It's not like they made an hour and 30-minute long movie into 2 hours because of it, or anything like
Right.
that. It gets its job done. I gotta say, 7 out of 10.
I didn't love it. I like a lot of parts of it. It's nowhere near my favorite movie, but I am impressed. I would rate it about a 6.5 out of 10, probably.
This will get I think a 7.5, maybe. I'm trying to think, trying to balance between 7.5 and an 8 right now.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Something. I think I'll go 7.5.
All right.
Just
Okay.
it does its job. I was scared. Yeah, this
And
is
I
a
watched
good
it on
modern horror movie.
Halloween.
Hey, we had a nice balance. We had Max do a classic old school horror movie. I did a horror comedy, and you picked a straight up horror
Newfangled
movie.
horror movie.
I did straight up like period piece horror.
Well, you did definitely the scariest movie, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, absolutely, by a mile.
I'm happy. I was really trying for that. All right. If that's it, then we can do the showdown.
Yeah,
No,
give
the
me a
movie.
sec.
You gotta pick a movie.
I'm deciding
gotta pick 'em.
between two. Give me a sec. I'm gonna see which one's higher on IMDb.
Why?
Cause
You didn't
Why do you
I'm
trust
doing
that?
a James. Well, I'm seeing which one's the highest overall. I'm doing a James Bond movie, and I want to start off on a good foot here.
I was
Back
gonna say,
in time?
who could this James fellow be?
Doing a James Bond movie. Okay,
Never
we're
heard of him.
doing. I want to do 007, A View to a Kill.
Okay.
This
Never
one
heard of it.
has Christopher Walken as the villain.
What? I didn't know he was in a
This is
Bond movie.
1985 Bond. Yeah, Christopher Walken is the villain. Roger Moore is James Bond at this time. This one I really liked, and the intro is by Duran Duran.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I dig it.
All right. We'll see you next time with 007, A View to a Kill.